Okay, welcome everybody. This is the front-end demo of the Total Supply Evolution industrial demo site. And a good place to start, and let's dive straight in, would be the look and feel of the site and some of the options that you have there as the dealer. So option number one is we operate a theme-based system. Some people call it templates. We don't like that word. We think it sucks. And we think it sucks because the minute you hear the word template, you start to kind of conjure up a whole bunch of negative ideas in your mind. So for example, when I hear the word template, I start to think that it's going to be very restrictive, it's going to be limited, and there's going to be very limited options for me to customize. So our theme-based system is just the opposite to that. There's different themes in the back end, and you can move between themes easily. And within each theme there's a whole bunch of customization that you can do as the dealer. So for example, you can customize things like the logo, the color scheme, all the banner content on the website, things like special offers. Just a quick word on the banner content. You aren't just limited to being able to add banners to the home page. You can take that whole concept of banner management and you can push that into the product. So for example, you could take banner content and add that to category pages. And you can also add banner content to things like keyword search results. I'll give you an idea of how that would work. Let's say that somebody came on the website and they did a search for a DeWalt drill. Well, the system's going to bring them back the normal results for that type of search, but you can push your banner content right at the top of those search results. So banner management, very powerful, goes way beyond the home page. Option number two is a custom homepage design. It's kind of what it sounds like. It's where you would provide us with a brief and we'd build a site based on your specification, working within a few little caveats and parameters that the system has, but to the largest extent you would have a blank sheet of paper to work with, and we'd build a homepage based on what you supplied, and we would charge a little bit extra for that beyond the standard price of the software for offering that service. So that's options on design. Option one is theme based, option two is custom. Then we go ahead and dive into the data. So let me go and click on measuring and leveling tools. That's going to bring back a nice category landing page, and from here I want to select tape measures. Now what it's going to do at this point is bring me back a whole bunch of product. Okay, so in this case there could be 20, 30, 40, 50 pages of results. So as the consumer we need some tools to filter this list and make it more manageable. So using these parametric filters on the left, these little check boxes, I could say just give me the tape measures that have got a 16-foot blade. Okay, so I click on one little button and all of a sudden I've gone from 20, 30, 40, 50 pages of results down to 4. And I could continue to click on additional options and refine those results even further. At this stage I'm going to go ahead and click through on this product here. The first thing I'm going to get at this point, and we call this the product detail page, is the full description for that item, the image, the overview telling you any selling text or selling points about this item, and then any attributes will be listed underneath that. Where the data supports it, guys, we can show you things like alternative products, related products to this item, and customers can do nice things like leave reviews on item. So somebody could say this is a 5-star product, these guys are great, go ahead and click save. That's going to come through to you on the back end, where you'll have the controls to approve that and have that show up on the front end of the website, or reject that. Okay, so you've got both options, you've got that editorial control. The last thing I want to show you guys here before we move on is the Facebook and Twitter integration. So we haven't just integrated the Facebook like button, which you'll find on many websites, but we can also integrate the Facebook comments engine. So I could say something like, this is a great product, you should buy it. go ahead and click post to Facebook. As soon as I click that button, everybody who follows me on Facebook is going to see that message with a deep link straight to this product page. So that is a fantastic way of marketing the business. You've got exactly the same controls there with Twitter using the tweet button. Same metaphor applies. It's going to bring up a deep link straight to the product page, and the customer can top and tail that with a message. So some really nice hooks into both the big social networking platforms. That's just the start. You're going to see much more functionality from us coming over time. Much more social functionality baked right into the product. Okay, for the next part to make sense, I need to go ahead and log in as a customer. And just to be clear, there's two types of customer that the Evolution platform can support. And it's quite unique in its ability to do this. So the platform can support both B2C customers, business to consumer, and B2B, business to business, and do both of those things really well on the one web store. Now, what that means practically is that if some person comes on the website and they want to buy, $500 worth of product on the credit card, then that's cool, and the site's going to work just great for that person, and they're going to get a nice consumer experience. Okay, it's going to feel really nice. However, if the next person who comes along is the CFO of a big company, and that user buys $1 million worth of industrial products every year, but they have a different requirement because they need things like budget controls and cost centers and departments and hierarchy and authorization tools and reports and all this really rich procurement functionality. Well, guess what? That's cool as well, because all of those things are in the software and you can just switch them on and off at the customer level. So for the sake of clarity, I'm logged in here as the second example, the CFO type login. For no other reason than I want to give you guys a good example of everything that the software can do for a customer. All the bells and whistles switched on. Clearly, if I was just a credit card customer, then I wouldn't see half of these options. So this is the full-on CFO type login. So very quickly, just blasting through this list, you've got my wish list and group wish list. Some people call them favorites lists. The difference between those two things is that the my wish list is a user level wish list. And what that means is if you had 25 guys in the same company, then each user could have their own my favorites list, each one of those users. These lists look like this. They've got nice thumbnail images, description, the customer's unique price, and quantity box where they can quickly add those items to the shopping cart. The group wish list is exactly the same thing, except this is a company list. So this could only be managed by the sort of CFO type user. But exactly the same thing. So company level, wish list or favorites, and user level. Then we come to the contract list. So the contract list would be those 50, 100, 500 special prices that you've agreed with the customer. So they get stored in the contract price list where the customer can come in and quickly access those products that they've got special prices on. I'm going to skip some of the more some of the less relevant stuff and just focus on the important parts. So things like group users, probably the most important part of the software. So this is the ability to have an unlimited number of users per company and then decide what each one of those users can and can't do when they log into the system. So for example, there's 5 users in this company. Let's go ahead and click through on Graham. When we click on that user record, the first thing we're going to get to see is what we call the static information for this user. So things like default billing and shipping, when did he last log in, what's the telephone number, all that kind of stuff. And then as we move through these tabs, we start to get some extended information about this user. So for example, is Graham allowed to access cost centers and departments and access multiple ship-to addresses? Does he need to be locked into the contract list? In some bigger companies they might insist that their users only get to see the products that they've got a special price on. And so if that flag's set to yes, when Graham logs in, it's going to take him straight to the contract list, and he won't be able to do anything except buy from that in checkout. And then on the right hand side we got some budget controls. So you could say Graham can spend $250 on any single order, or $2,000 a month, and if he goes over that, then the orders go to the CFO for authorization. So guys, I'm absolutely prepared to accept that there's a limited number of companies that need that type of functionality, but you know, when you find the right business, the CFO is going to love you for that type of control. So all of those nice rich procurement controls are baked right into the software. So if we go back up a level, we've got multiple ship-to addresses. There's no limit to the number of ship-to addresses you can have per company. Departments, cost centers. You can add a cost center to each line in the shopping cart and then report on those values later. You can, of course, as the customer, they can view all orders they've placed in the past and then click through to get the detail. It's going to show them things like billing address, shipping address, line information including cost centers and any line references or line notes that have been left, and then the totals underneath. And then the last thing I'll mention in this section here is saved shopping carts. So this is quite a nice feature. I like this because it kind of feeds into how people actually use these things in the real world. So some people like to start an order on a Monday, build it up, save it, bring it back up on the Tuesday, add a few more things to it, save it again, and then send it on the Wednesday. So that ability to add, edit, save, recover, and then ultimately send the order when they're ready to send it is all built straight in here. One last thing I'm going to show you on the front end, guys, and then start wrapping this up, is we have a really nice rewards program built into the product. Kind of works like this. It's where you could say, for every new customer that registers, I'm going to give them 500 points, and then 1 point for every dollar they spend thereafter. And when they've got 50 billion points, they can get the iPad 2 or the TomTom or whatever you decide they can get for that points value. So that ability for the customer to accumulate points based on some rules that you've set up, and then redeem those points against some gift items that again you've set up, and most importantly, once all of that stuff's set up, just have the system take care of that. Okay, so once the rules are set, the whole thing just becomes self-managing, and that is a great way for getting customers to come back to the website. So guys, that was a nice brief look at some of the functionality in the Evolution store. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again on the next video.